Imagine a piece of AI software makes $1 million mistake in a split second. So who exactly pays for it? Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're breaking down a truly fascinating triune harmonic dynamic structural forecast. It predicts exactly when the explosive advancement of AI is going to collide head-on with our legal system. It's a brilliant framework from researcher, inventor, and author Kevin L. Brown, and it's going to give us a very clear window into the near future of AI agent autonomy.
Here is our roadmap. We'll start with the AI blame game. Look at how we forecast the future. Measure the coming pressure phase. Zero in on the 2026 danger window. Test how we might be wrong. And finally, look at how to actually prepare for this massive shift.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the AI blame game.
I want you to picture a scenario. Let's say an autonomous AI agent is managing a global supply chain for a major retailer, and without any human double-checking its work, it accidentally orders 50,000 left shoes. That is a huge mistake causing real financial harm. But who's legally on the hook? Is it the developer who wrote the code, the business user who switched it on, or is the software itself somehow legally responsible? The wild thing is, right now we don't have a clear answer to that.
We are facing this massive point of friction. Think of it this way. AI works at the speed of light, but the law works at the speed of paperwork. The tech is advancing way, way faster than our courts, lawmakers, or even insurance companies can adapt. We are essentially building lightning-fast machines, but we're trying to govern them with incredibly slow rules.
Moving on to Section 2, let's look at how we can actually forecast when this whole thing comes to a head. To really understand this, we're using a framework called Triune Harmonic Dynamics, or THD for short. Developed by Kevin L. Brown, THD predicts future system behavior by analyzing built-up pressures and natural timing cycles. Think of it kind of like measuring the pressure inside a volcano. If you track the pressure building up, you can predict with high accuracy when it's finally going to burst.
And history actually shows us exactly what happens in these situations. Take high-frequency stock trading, for example. When automation got faster than human speed, the system broke, leading to strict new regulations. We're seeing it today with self-driving cars, where crashes lead to incredibly messy legal fights over who's at fault. And we saw it with software supply chain attacks. When machines act faster than humans can verify, it literally always ends the same way, with strict new rules and forced institutional hardening.
We're actually watching this exact three-step pattern unfold right now. Signal 1, AI agents are introduced as helpful little assistants. We see that everywhere. Signal 2, they get given the keys to make decisions on their own in live business systems. That's actively happening. Then comes Signal 3. Harm occurs without a clear legal owner to take the blame. It's that final step that ultimately triggers the massive institutional pressure.
Which brings us nicely to Section 3. The system is starting to overheat.
According to Brown's analysis, the THD structural pressure index currently sits at a 65 out of 80. Essentially, the warning lights on the dashboard are flashing red. We are officially in what's called a late pressure phase. This tells us that the real-world deployment of autonomous AI is dangerously far ahead of the law right now. Things are getting incredibly tight.
But what exactly is driving all this stress? Well, first, you have liability ambiguity. There are simply no stable rules for who's responsible when an AI messes up. Second, there's major regulatory lag. Companies are deploying tech way faster than regulators can draft rules. And third, insurance uncertainty. Insurers have absolutely no idea how to price the risk of an AI agent making a bad choice. That leaves businesses totally unprotected.
Because of all this, the pressure has to go somewhere. The data points to a 35% probability of an integration or adaptation phase. What that means is, instead of society completely falling apart, our policies, regulators, and insurers are just going to suddenly slam on the brakes. They're going to force new rules to safely box in the technology.
Let's look at Section 4. When exactly is this going to happen? Welcome to the 2026 danger window.
We have this huge gap known as the verification gap. And it's our ticking clock. You just cannot resolve a lightning-fast million data point AI decision using a slow manual court review. The mismatch is just too extreme to last for very long.
Based on the THD forecast, August through December of 2026 is the real danger zone. Why then? Because enterprise tech reviews in the fall are going to violently crash into end-of-year insurance renewals and legal compliance deadlines. Corporate budgeting, legal reviews, and insurance repricing rhythms all overlap at the exact same time. The structural pressure perfectly meets the corporate calendar, creating a total perfect storm.
So as we roll into that late 2026 window, you need to be actively watching for a few specific warning signs. Keep a very close eye out for sudden panic in the insurance markets. I'm talking massive price hikes or new policies that outright refuse to cover AI. And pay close attention if you start seeing highly public lawsuits over AI errors, where companies are furiously pointing fingers at each other over who's responsible.
Now for Section 5. Let's talk about the falsification parameters, or in simpler terms, how this forecast might actually be wrong.
A genuinely strong scientific forecast welcomes challenges, and it explicitly tells you how it can be proven wrong. For instance, if courts and lawmakers miraculously fix the rules and settle liability cleanly before August 2026, this forecast is weakened. If tech companies suddenly volunteer to just pull the plug on AI autonomy on their own, the pressure drops. And if late 2026 comes and goes with zero liability disputes or compliance crackdowns, well, this entire forecast is officially falsified.
Because a true structural forecast identifies a pressurized system and defines testable conditions under which adaptation becomes highly likely. It's not a magical crystal ball. It's a rigorous, testable map of cause and effect that helps us actually prepare for reality.
That brings us to our final section, preparing for the shift. Regardless of the exact path we take, the destination is clear. Whether the trigger is a quiet internal software failure, which is our base scenario, or highly visible public lawsuit in the acceleration scenario, the end result is the same: strict institutional crackdowns. Even in a containment scenario where firms spot the danger early, we're still going to see very hard rules on what AI is legally allowed to do without a human double-checking its work.
Kevin L. Brown's ultimate conclusion sums up this entire explainer perfectly. He states that AI agent liability is most likely to become visibly real in late 2026 when enterprise autonomy outruns legal accountability. The automation is just moving too fast. The law is moving way too slow. And late 2026 is the exact structural window when those two realities are going to violently crash into each other.
So, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Is your company actually ready for this 2026 liability shift, or are you handing the steering wheel to an AI without wearing a seatbelt? It's something you really need to carefully consider regarding your own business workflows as we rapidly approach that August 2026 danger window. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep asking the big questions.